Greetings, fellow fragrance and information lovers. I get, we're changing this channel, but I wanted to explain who I am. My name is Benjamin. You've watched my channel quite a bit. You probably already know. Used to be called Centaur Fragrance, reviewing fragrances, perfumes, and all things scent related. But today, I wanted to explain why I'm changing my channel, make another fairly thorough video. This, I think, is going to be the final one. Moving forward, telling you what we're going to do, what this channel is going to become, and this is a little bit of an ode and an explanation so you understand, but an ode or a story, a recap of where I've come, where I started from, and where I am now. So who am I? I wanted to explain a little bit about that. My name is Benjamin. I'm that, guy talking about fragrance, a little bit too detailed, a geek. Some people say a nerd about fragrance. And I started my, channel out wanting to help people. I have that as a part of my personality. I am an INFJ personality. If you've ever taken the personality test, I'll include it in the link or the description and in a comment below. So you can take that and understand yourself a little bit better. For me personally, I am the T. I'm kind of the devotee or the devoted, and I kind of support people. And that's something that I've always wanted to be. I've taken lots of personality tests and things, and I've had a dream, and they've pointed me towards being a YouTuber or maybe being on the radio, something like that. So I'm definitely changing my life in a lot of ways. But I do want to help people. That's what I want to do. I think entertainment's fine, and I think entertainment's good. And but I've never been one to focus completely on entertainment. So that's going to be something we're going to talk about here in a second as well. But why I started a fragrance channel is because I love all forms or most forms of expression. I love the art behind things, and fragrance is, I think, an art. I truly think it is. That is less represented and less understood as an art form.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Because, again, nothing is wrong with being attractive, but a lot of these brands sell young men on the idea of being attractive or getting the girl, and that's why a lot of fragrance is sold to simply be attractive. Just like chewing gum, has become a marketing ploy, for being more attractive, and people synonymously think chewing gum has something to do, with fresh breath and kissing and stuff. But, with my experience with fragrance, I wanted to bring people closer to expressing themselves and finding, just like fashion and a lot of things, finding a way of, sharing who they truly are, with finding who they are and having a better experience in life. And I still truly believe that fragrance can do that. Fragrance can not only tell a story of where you've been and what you've been through, but fragrance can also, through smell, tell other people who you are, your emotion, and all kinds of information. So I think that's a beautiful thing. So that was something that I went through and helped me in a funny way understand who I am and express myself and come to, I guess people would say the general term, confidence these days, but build myself up a little bit. There's a lot of people who have really strong egos and they're built up a lot in life, and they seem to kind of be allowed to do everything. But I was raised in a very strong religious family and a lot of restrictions, and I was taught to not think for myself. So fragrance helped me get out of actually find a little bit of who I was and have a little bit of a actual sense of self, which was very important for me. But this moves forward. Again, feel free to ask me questions below if you'd like. Some people tried to pry and get more personal details out of me. I went to college. I got a business management degree and a bachelor's, and a focus again in supply chain. But I don't try to get too much into my personal life, and I already tell a lot. But it's curious that some people want. every single detail about your life. But feel free to ask below if there's anything in particular that you would like to know. But let's talk about the state of FragCom. Now, to some people, FragCom is very irrelevant or very unimportant now. It certainly seems that way. That's how people view it. But getting into the fragrance reviewing, to me, FragCom was perhaps the most important thing. Not because I was trying to get all the views towards my channel, but because I thought, and I still believe, that certain communities can bring a lot. That not only friendship is important, but an exchange of ideas can accelerate, not only bring fellowship, but accelerate the growth of, not viewership on YouTube, the growth of the industry, of ingenuity, creativity, spontaneity, and it just improved things in general that were challenging to each other. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. Now, some people don't like negativity, and I suppose you can click off this video now if you do not like what is considered negativity. I think fair criticism is an important thing. Certainly, there were criticisms, thrown my way, and criticisms that were sometimes valid. And I think that FragCom has gone away, and certainly I guess this happens in general. Some people would say that FragCom is no exception, but we'll talk about how I think FragCom is different than a lot of other things, genres, categories, or whatever, however you want to say this is a group thing. But with the state of FragCom did start, like many other things, people who purely, didn't want money, or weren't seeking money, or weren't seeking fame or popularity. They were seeking to just share fragrance in a really general way. Sometimes, in dark rooms, sometimes without a microphone, sometimes with nothing but a cell phone against a bookcase. Propping up the cell phone on some books, which is fine, and it in a way there's a little bit of charm to that. But FragCom did change, and that's not necessarily the end of the world. Some people say it is. Things do change. The FragCom does change, and there's been a couple evolutions which I've mentioned. We're not going to get into all that, but there were people who then kind of a second generation of people who might have been considered like Dre Doc and My Mickers and some people like that after the initial ones, and they weren't trying. I mean, they kind of wanted to become popular, and they kind of mixed in a little bit of entertainment in there, but they were still focused on the hobby and individually reviewing fragrances and the passion of it. So that was a lot of fun, and we got to see some bigger personalities come out, and then I kind of stepped in, kind of that in this era of that kind of generation, and moving into this one where Jeremy Fragrance kind of already had taken over, and everybody started doing top 10s, and everybody started seeing that you could make money through Jeremy Fragrance, and now we have people like. I don't want to mix them up. Curly Fragrance, the one from Denmark, I think it is. I don't know exactly where. And this, we get this new form where people are trying to mix in politics. Entertainment is the focus instead of the fragrance, and I guess I'm just the complete opposite, where I want the focus to be on the product, and I don't know how people can watch these things. I guess because fragrance is such an abstract thing where you just smell it, and it's so hard to describe. You don't see, like if you're a video game reviewer, people can see the video game and see the things you're talking about and understand the concepts, because things are changing. With smell, we don't have smell-o-vision or something like that. So there's a lot of people trying to mix in a lot of other things or really overshadow fragrance. I've watched plenty of videos and live streams where fragrance seemed to be very low on the priority list. There were lots of things that came before the fragrance, and sometimes it seemed like these people considered themselves people in the FragCom or a fragrance community, and they really didn't seem to have anything to say about fragrance. They didn't even mention their scents of the day. So it became a very confusing time, and now there's people who are trying to mix in other forms of entertainment, like Mr. Smelly, where he tries to be like a show host, essentially, and mix in that entertainment somehow into the fragrance world, but they don't really support small upcoming fragrance reviewers unless they're already on the track of becoming popular. They only talk about topics that they think YouTube wants to see, and some people argue that if you're on YouTube, you should only be here to make money. But I think that there's a difference between trying to be successful and being authentic. If you're trying to be on YouTube just to make money, I don't think this is the right place for you. I don't think YouTube, it has become corporate tube, and it is a problem. It is causing a lot of issues, and so there is some truth to that if you want to be on YouTube, you have to feed the beast, you have to play the game. But there is still a way to give YouTube what it wants and still be true to yourself. And I'm not even talking about selling fragrances or promoting fragrances or anything like that. I'm talking about to stay relevant or to get views. There's still a way to be authentically you. PewDiePie or some of the biggest YouTubers who have ever been are still their own personality, even if some people out there don't seem to have much of a personality. Like Amaranth and, Pokimane and these types of people, they still have a certain style about them and still draw in a certain audience somehow. In FragCom or fragrance reviewers in general, have been people, and perhaps you could say I have been that person that has been a little bit, I don't know, without a personality or not enough of personality, and I've tried to mix in a lot of fun, but maybe I never did that right. That certain amount of charisma. But fragrance, there was the extreme of focusing purely on fragrance, and there was other people out there like, Psy over there, Simply Put Scents, who did try to put a spin on there and mix in some other things into the style of fragrance reviewing, and even that really didn't work. And I think that was kind of a sad thing. And I've seen lots of people come and go, and I've experimented and proven or that certain concepts work and don't work. And it's quite interesting that we did have some personalities like Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, rest in peace, that did seem to get a really strong, a fellowship and a community and some love behind them, but they never really grew in the sense of YouTube. Again, a lot of people in FragCom act like 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers is a big deal, or 50,000, or even 100,000, and 100,000 is sizable, but in the world of YouTube, 1 million is not that big of a deal. Subscribers, you're really only you're not even a particularly big person, but you are somebody in the world of YouTube, I guess you could say, if you have to have like 5 million or something to really be somebody of affluence or influence. So, but again, it's just an interesting thing. Again, I'm not trying to be too critical of people too much, but I think that I do think that there is some criticism that should be levied against some of these people. Again, Curly Fragrance and Mr. Smelly, who speak about FragCom, or some of these people who are connected to these people or friends. Some of these European fragrance reviewers who all seem to be buddy-buddy. They don't seem to care that much.
Regardless of the fact that we are attacking your fundamental rights or limiting your fundamental rights, and the Charter says that's wrong, we're still going to go ahead and do with it.
About the legacy or the history of fragrance, or the details like the style, the perfumer's intent. They don't seem to really focus on the details. and I could name a whole bunch of them. But I guess moving forward, I just want I don't know if Jeremy Fragrance will ever be overtaken, but there needs to be somebody who has a certain charismatic style about them, and wants to share fragrance. I guess there's the fragrance viewership on YouTube is surprisingly small, and I never knew this, and that gets into this point. There's about 1,200 or so people, 1,500 maybe, people who actually are interested in the nitty-gritty details and the niche fragrances and all the big information that all the things that you might want to know, and are willing to explore niche, watch niche fragrances and niche content and niche reviews. There seems to be only a little over 1,000. It's quite interesting, and that this hobby is that small. Again, you see people like Jeremy Fragrance, and you say he's got 1 million followers, and some videos have like 100,000 views. Some of that stuff's real, but again, some of it's fake. Bot viewership and subscribers are a big thing, and we know that a lot of these people are certainly playing that game. So I don't know. It could be 50% of those views are fake. There's a lot of stuff that's fake, and there's a lot of people. I knew people who got mad at me because I was honest and just being open, and I said that my viewership was real. I was 100% organic, and I am, and I've never bought followers, and I have never bought subscriptions. I've never been paid for a single fragrance review, and for some reason that has made some people mad. And again, I think that I was, as a fragrance reviewer, was highly underrated. And I should have gotten plenty of more traction, subscribers, views. But I'm not exactly sure how that could be done. There's some basic YouTube things I could have done. Perhaps even better thumbnails. I got some of my videos up to 4K quality. But lighting, and all those background things. But there's been lots of videos that didn't have good lighting and weren't perfect, that have gotten, monstrous views. So again, the whole world of YouTube, I guess, is about views, and that's why I'm mentioning it. Some people are like, why do you even talk about views? Views aren't important. Well, if you get on YouTube, you want your ideas to spread, even if you're not trying to make money. And even if you have, even if you don't want fame, which a lot of people do, you still want your ideas to get out there. You still want your effort to be worthwhile. If you don't even care about viewership, if you don't care that you get, above 50 views or 100 views on a video, and if you don't care if you're making money, then why are you making why are you on YouTube? Maybe ask, why are you even making content in general? I guess if you just wanted to do something as a hobby, I don't know. There's easier and faster ways to do things besides record yourself on a video. There's Fragrantica, and we're going to talk about that stuff in a second. Anyways, I want to talk about my motivations for my channel and things going forward. I think that with my motivations, I'm not trying to say I'm an angel with the purity and all that, but I think that there is certainly, a room for improvement and motivations. Like, you can clearly see some of these people in FragCom, and you either wonder what are their motivations at all, or you can clearly see they have the worst motivations. For myself, I think that going forward with my channel, Daddy Knows Best, that I want to help people, just like I did with my fragrance channel. Again, my first video I ever made was about FragCom and helping people and making the world a better place. And I think that men need to have a resource, a chance, a way to just simply understand the world going on, because there's a lot of people who are directly lying to them. There's a lot of people who have lied in the past. There's a lot of music and movies and everything else who, and people still believe that, can take that as a form, something that they should do that is relevant, and it's not. If you watch a Hollywood movie that's showing you the culture and telling people how they should, act, or men how they should act towards women, it's not relevant anymore. And I think we need relevant information. So that's why I'm making my channel. And I'm certainly going to get out there and try to help men out there in the world, because you don't know what's going on. And if one of the things that got me to do this, so we'll first start my channel and move me in this direction, was there was some kind of video, I forget the topic, but I commented that I didn't even say anything directly critical or mean, but I had commented, this was years ago before I even started my fragrance channel, and there was some kind of controversy that went on, and actually quite a few people quit their fragrance channels. And supposedly I was more of a problem or an impact than I knew, some people had said. But I said that I didn't wear fragrance for women. And sure, it's fine to be attractive and nice, and that can be a thing. But my main motivation of wearing fragrance was not, it wasn't for women. I didn't buy fragrance directly because I wanted to be attractive. That's a good thing and can be. And I have worn fragrances to be attractive to women, but that's not my main focus. That's not why I buy a fragrance or wear a fragrance or do fragrance reviews or encourage other men to buy fragrances. And but all I said was just, I didn't say all of that. All I said was, like, I don't buy or wear fragrances, for women. And a lot of people got mad about that. A lot of people freaked out about that, and that to me was a curious thing and something that I wanted to help fix. And you might think that's completely strange, but that is one reason I started my fragrance channel. And now that I see with the simp thing that happened, and that a lot of people in FragCom are simps, they watch Jeremy Fragrance because they want to be Jeremy Fragrance so that they can get the girls. They want to watch Jeremy Fragrance because he's attractive, or they think that he is the ideal man or something like that, because they want to be him. And they watch these attractive lady fragrance reviewers because they want to get advice on how to be attractive and get the girl. So we really haven't moved past in FragCom getting past panty droppers. It's a very funny thing. We haven't even gotten past that. In a way, we really haven't. And certainly the internet is focused on attraction. One of the reasons the internet was ever made was, because of that underlying desire, that sensuality, and form of expression. I mean, what are the base needs, the core needs of all humanity in this earthly biological existence? Food, water, shelter, entertainment, and a part of entertainment and relationships, or being in bed, or whatever, however you want to say it. I'm trying to be very PG for this YouTube channel. Mama Susan, you can't cross boundaries. But anyways, YouTube hasn't gotten beyond that. I find it very curious, because I am starting to become more of an audiophile, where I care about audio quality and headphones, and I've always cared about the details, but I've never really experienced and understood and knew that there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to experience, and you can, with better headphones and better equipment, you can truly hear a whole different world in the world of audio. You can hear all the details. You can hear so much and understand so much. And with fragrance, that's one of the things that I felt was so beautiful. All the nuances, all the details, and the artistry of it. But I'm changing my channel. And again, I'm becoming a much different person, I feel. Because, again, I was very afraid. And I've never always wanted to be friends with people. But I've mentioned a few here directly in this video. Jeremy Fragrance, Mr. Smelly. I've mentioned Demi indirectly many times. And I feel like I'm just stepping away from all of that. I do not feel that if you actually genuinely want to review fragrances and review a product in fragrance related, that it's possible for you to become popular unless you're extremely attractive and you somehow do top 10s. Maybe there's somebody who comes out, who's extremely charismatic, who is somehow able to get past that. But you see all these people, Redolescence, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, Max Forte, Smelling Good Fragrance Reviews. He changed his name to like Perfume something. And all the other, people who are considered all-stars, in the fragrance world. It's very interesting that, again, they even had to do some of those catchy titles, review some of the newest fragrances, do some hype train, talk about some of the beast mode fragrances over there, and some of the things like that. There's in the top 10s.
You are horrible.
There's nobody in the fragrance community who has done individual fragrance reviews, talking about individual products. And I think a part of that is because fragrance moves so fast. Fragrance moves extremely fast. A flanker might be produced for a year, and after a year or year and a half, it might not even be on shelves anymore, or the availability, it might not even be available. And in the world of niche, I've seen some niche fragrances be available for 6 months, and then they're not available anymore because they're made in such a small, limited quantity. There are flagship fragrances out there. Fragrances like Versace Pour Homme, Acqua di Gio, and quite a few more. I don't think Dior Sauvage is going to go anywhere soon. Fragrances that are going to be around for decades. Who knows how long. But things change in technology pretty fast. So I don't know exactly what is going on, in the world of fragrance, because if you review an individual product in like a computer case or many things, knives even, there's more viewership. So I'm not trying to get more people watching fragrance videos. I'm not trying to discourage the fragrance community or FragCom, but I think Katie Puckrick was wonderful and beautiful and successful. And if somebody like Katie Puckrick couldn't do it,
Cool. Let's go get him again.
Fragrance family, welcome to the Robes Away channel.
if somebody like Robes 08, putting like 10 years into fragrance reviewing, and he did, some lists and had his own style, he did have his own personality. If he can't even get like half the views of Jeremy Fragrance are these people, why should anybody attempt to make fragrance videos that are actual reviews? Why should anybody do it when it's proven? And I am an example of that. I wasn't the biggest person, but I think I have like 800 fragrance videos. I did this for almost 4 years. If somebody can put this much effort, hard work, love, and passion, and, do it essentially for free. Again, brand deals I don't think are the worst thing in the world. If you're open and transparent about it, I don't think brand deals are that bad of a thing. Plenty of people, very trusted, very famous YouTubers who review products have sponsors. NordVPN, Raid Shadow Legend.
Good reason. It's because you already know about the Google Play Store. It's because it's one of the top 415 million ranked RPGs in the last month, but it's for no reason. Raid has huge plans, huge legends, but
and everything else out there. So I'm not exactly sure how to improve FragCom. I'm not really sure how it can be fixed. I don't think it would be ethical to delete or somehow get rid of Jeremy Fragrance or Demi or Curly Fragrance or these people who don't really care about fragrance. And maybe they do understand fragrance, but from what they share, they don't really understand fragrance. I don't really know how we could overcome that. And that's one reason why I'm making going on a different direction. I never intended to get extremely popular, and I never intended to get extremely famous through fragrance reviewing, but I certainly think that there's a major problem when somebody like me, who put that much effort, quality, and for 4 years, has not even a tenth Not some cases, not even 100th of some of these people who have grown haven't done anything special. They really haven't. So, moving forward, what is this channel going to be about? And when am I going to stop complaining, some of you would say. Well, this channel going forward, this is my last talk about fragrance. So I wanted it to be thorough. I wanted it to be from the heart. I want that, again, my channel is going to be about, not, I've mentioned men's issues, but news issues, important information, things that are relevant, social issues, and things that, because people seem to care more about that. And I think it would have a greater impact for humanity and society if I was able to help people in a bigger, stronger, better way. Again, there's going to be hurdles going forward. There's already people out there like Timcast. Won't get into the, him right now. But Timcast, still can't overtake like Fox or CNN and all these news agencies that bought up ad space and bought into YouTube, and, YouTube promotes them and props them up because of all of their money. So there's going to be some work to do. And hopefully we can overcome this hurdle. Who knows what this channel might become in the future going forward. But my friends, I want to invite you to this channel. I want to say that I care about you. And I wanted to say that we do have a bright future ahead of us. Now again, don't lose hope if you love fragrance. There are some good people still out there. Try, make the effort. But if you're a new fragrance reviewer, please, for the love of God, or however you want to say it, please, don't. If you do care about Jeremy Fragrance, I guess say whatever you want or do, but you got to support each other and talk about each other, and you can collab even with each other. That's how we're going to have a real fragrance community. There's some of these people who are coming up, and they still say they watch Demi, and they still say they watch Jeremy Fragrance, and they act like they're a part of FragCom or they care about FragCom, and yet they're supporting these people who have nothing to do with FragCom or never cared about FragCom, and arguably have put the final nail in the coffin of FragCom. How can you do that? If you do want, as I step out of FragCom, if you still care about the fragrance community and the fellowship and the friendship, you're going to have to talk about each other, maybe in lives. You're going to have to maybe do lives together to pull your audience together to support each other. You're going to have to mention each other, all be on the same page. You can do tags, but all have like a certain theme. So release similar content at the same time. And you might even have to trail or not copy, but do similar videos about popular topics that maybe the bigger fragrance reviewers do, to get that, try to jump on that bandwagon of traffic. Again, not copying them, but a similar topic, your own take, your own views of something, and that might be what you have to do. But again, people like Jeremy Fragrance, I won't get into the many ways he's done things, but if you've paid attention recently, I wanted to mention this one thing at least, because I've talked about many different aspects of the fragrance, the algorithm, and YouTube. If Jeremy Fragrance, at the end of winter, possibly the beginning of spring for some people are still in winter. And this was a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month ago at the time of you watching this video. At the end of December, well, I guess the beginning of January, willing to make a summer fragrance top 10 video list. He's really taking advantage of the algorithm, really trying to grab all the views and all the ad space, and really trying to take advantage of all this. You're fighting against somebody who has an older YouTube channel with more videos, somebody who's attractive, somebody who's paid people to edit their videos, somebody who pays people for SEO, search engine optimization with the keywords, You're finding somebody who has money, and a platform that supports, your authority, essentially. And I don't know how all that stuff, what is the most important, and how powerful all those things are individually. I don't work at YouTube. I don't get to see the algorithm, and I actually finally got to I didn't get to talk to them individually, but they did allow me to talk to somebody in YouTube, in a chat room, but it was a text. I only got to text them. It was like texting back and forth, so it was like customer support, in the text. Anyways, so I didn't get to actually physically or talk to somebody. I didn't get to hear their voice, and they didn't tell me any details. One of the things, interestingly enough, they almost said was either they or somebody must have control of the algorithm, but that doesn't seem that almost anybody does know or gets to know, what controls the algorithm. So for all I know, it's a self-controlling machine, and they have hands off, and it's like they have very little control over it, and it's becoming its own creature. They must have some measure of control over it and some influence over it. How much control they have over it, I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to overtake Jeremy Fragrance. It doesn't look like it. I don't know if that's a possibility. But if there's no possibility of overtaking Jeremy Fragrance, and again, I'm not saying that I deserve to, or I don't anybody particularly does at this point. I don't know if anybody has done well enough to overtake Jeremy. But let's make the comparison of the older fragrance channels like Katie Puckrick. That content should still be growing and still be so relevant that Katie Puckrick should have, I don't know, her channel should have many more subscribers, 50 or 100,000 subscribers or more going forward. But YouTube is not deeming that's relevant because it's not been made currently. And again, it's individual reviews. What can I say? I think that I've gone on and on about this too much. But I want to invite you to my channel. Maybe I should do podcasts because I could get myself out there emotionally. Again, some people feel like or suggested that I don't have any emotions. I certainly do. And I've been kind of emotional in this video. I want to invite you to my channel to understand the world and how we can improve the world. Hopefully you've liked this video today. A little bit of a heart-to-heart. Again, my channel is called Daddy Knows Best. I hope that title isn't too infuriating. People get mad and infuriated about almost anything these days, but I thought it was fun and challenging and maybe a little bit provocative, yes, going forward. So let me know. How do you feel about this idea? How do you feel about this channel? What would you like seeing going forward? Do you want news? Do you want me to talk more about entertainment? I perhaps will talk about celebrities, but I want to help men understand relevant issues going forward, and we're going to explore a lot. So look forward to all the edited videos and all the details soon. Let me know again in the comment section what you liked about this video and what you didn't. I think that their fragrance reviewing is going to move and stick to basenotes, fragrantica, and I think that there's going to be the small people who still want to have fun and have their fun and get into fragrance and build out their collections. But there is, I don't think that we're going to see actual people with actual, details or technical experience with fragrance. Not many of them going forward. There's still people out there making great quality or fun content, but they still just don't have what YouTube wants. They don't have the spark, or they don't have the drive to mix in the entertainment or the YouTube style, into what they do. So, anyways, I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a good one. Peace out, and bye.